Well, good morning. Today is Thursday, the 25th of April. And today we are in Esther chapter 3. Word of God says, after these things, King Ahasuerus promoted Haman the Agagite, the son of Hammedatha, and advanced him and set him his throne above all the officials who were with him. And all the king's servants who were at the king's gate bowed down and paid homage to Haman, for the king had so commanded concerning him. But Mordecai did not bow down or pay homage. Then the king's servants who were at the king's gate said to Mordecai, Why do you transgress the king's command? And when they spoke to him day after day, and he would not listen to them, they told Haman, in order to see whether Mordecai's words would stand, for he had told them that he was a Jew. And when Haman saw that Mordecai did not bow down or pay homage to him, Haman was filled with fury. But he disdained to lay hands on Mordecai alone. So as they had made known to him the people of Mordecai, Haman sought to destroy all the Jews, the people of Mordecai, throughout the whole kingdom of Ahasuerus. In the last month, which is the month of Nisan, in the 12th month of King Ahasuerus, they cast they cast lots before Haman day after day, and they cast it month after month till the 12th month, which is the month of Adar. Then Haman said to King Ahasuerus, There's a certain people scattered abroad and dispersed among the peoples in all the provinces of your kingdom. Their laws are different from those of every other people, and they do not keep the king's laws, so that it is not to the king's profit to tolerate them. If it please the king, let it be decreed that they be destroyed, and I will pay 10,000 talents of silver into the hands of those who have charge of the king's business, that they may put it into the king's treasuries. So the king took his signet ring from his hand and gave it to Haman the Agagite, the son of Hammedatha, the enemy of the Jews. And the king said to Haman, The money is given to you, the people also, to do with them as it seems good to you. Then the king's scribes were summoned on the 13th day of the first month, and an edict according to all that Haman commanded was written to the king's satraps and to the governors over all the provinces and to the officials of all the peoples, to every province in its own script, and every people in its own language. And it was written in the name of King Ahasuerus and sealed with the king's signet ring. Letters were sent by courier to all the king's provinces with instructions to destroy, to kill, and to annihilate all Jews, young and old, men and women and children, in one day, the 13th day of the 12th month, which is the month of Adar, and to plunder their goods. A copy of the document was to be issued as a decree in every province by proclamation to all the peoples to be ready for that day. The couriers went out hurriedly by order of the king, and the decree was issued in Susa the citadel, and the king and Haman sat down to drink. But the city of Susa was thrown into confusion. So, Haman, Word of God says here he was an Agagite. Now, you do a little bit of digging into that, and most scholars believe that he was a descendant of Agag, who was king of the Amalekites. If you recall, King Saul went to battle and destroyed their capital, and he took Agag the king captive, and he was supposed to kill him, but he didn't. And if this guy is a relative, then you can maybe understand a little bit of his animosity toward when he learns that Mordecai is a Jew. He has hatred. He wants to kill all of them, perhaps to avenge the Amalekites. But whatever the reason, whatever the source of this hatred for the Jews, we see it here. As I spoke about yesterday, this was 2,500 years ago or so, and they were trying to destroy and kill, death to the Jews. I mean, that was the decree of the king, because Haman convinced him it was the thing to do. And as we learned, and as we've seen in the first 2 chapters of the book of Esther, Esther is a Jew, although she has not revealed that to anyone to this point, per Mordecai. The thing that we have to look at this passage and think, well, what's the application for us today? Well, if we apply the specs, we know that the sin here is anti-Semitism. It's murder, hatred in his heart, and discrimination of all kinds is evil. The discrimination for any reason is evil. That's what's going on here. What principles are there to apply from this passage, or promises to claim? Well, the principle is there's a couple. One, you could say that history has a way of, I had a professor that said, if there's one thing that we learn from history, is that we don't learn anything from history. History has a way of repeating itself. This hatred of the Jewish people, where does it come from? It comes from the very beginning in the Garden of Eden, as I mentioned. I'm going to be preaching a sermon this Sunday on that very topic, because it's what's going on in our country today and around the world. Anti-Semitism is on the rise everywhere, and people who don't know history, don't know the Word of God, do they have any clue what's going on? I don't know. What about examples to learn from? Well, here we have an example of a man who's vindictive and hateful, not just toward an individual, but he wants to wipe out the whole race. There was a episode of Star Trek, The Next Generation, where this man and woman were living on this planet in a bubble almost, And it was a strange thing because it had no business to be there. And at the end of the episode, kind of figured out what was going on. This what appeared to be a human was actually a being called a Daud. And he told the story. He said, I'm a peaceful creature, and this race of people came in and they destroyed this planet, and I stood by and did nothing. And then, but the love of my life, this woman, she was killed by them. And then he said, in a fit of rage, he killed the Hushnak. And then he said, they said, well, you defended the people. No, you don't understand. I didn't just kill one Hushnak or 1,000. I killed them all. 50 billion of them. I killed them all with a thought. And Captain Picard says, we're not qualified to judge you. We have no laws to fit your crime. And I just thought, the guy was, or this being, was so filled with rage and hatred that he lashed out with his mind and he killed a whole race. A whole race of people. That's essentially what Satan has put in the heart of so many people in this world. And it goes back to the very beginning. Satan is a murderer. That's what he is. He's a destroyer. And so we see Haman is an example of the same character as Satan. He wants to destroy all the people of God. And that same spirit is alive and well today. We see it in the news right now, every day. Are there any commands in this passage? No, I don't see any. But I am thankful. I'm thankful, number one. I'm thankful that God has given us His Word to instruct us. As a warning, really, in many ways. As we'll continue in this narrative, we'll see that Esther, being the queen and being loved by the king, is in a position to do something to save her people, and she does. And I think we need to stand up and we need to speak out against anti-Semitism. We need to stand with and pray for the nation of Israel, the Jewish people. And that's largely what I get out of this passage. Is why has nothing changed? It's a shame, but we know that it's going to continue to get worse because the Bible tells us so. That's all I have for today. I hope you have a great day. We'll see you again tomorrow.